Hello everyone, my name is Nada Ahmed, and today I would like to discuss one of the most crucial sections of a manuscript, which is also one of the most challenging for many researchers, the discussion. Specifically, I will focus on how to utilize structure and balance to craft a well-written discussion. First, let me quickly review the main flow of manuscript sections, which can be summarized by the acronym IMRAD. This structure consists of the introduction, the methods, the results, and the discussion. Following this sequence of sections ensures that your manuscript provides a well-organized and coherent story of your research study. First, the introduction, which sets the stage for your research by providing background information and highlighting the significance of your study. Then the methods, which detail the study design, procedures, and analyses employed in your research. After that, the results, which objectively present the outcomes of your study. And finally, the discussion, which is the focus of our presentation. The discussion section of a manuscript serves as an opportunity to conclude the story you began in your study and highlight the contributions it makes within the existing literature. It's essential to maintain coherence by referencing the same sources used in the introduction, demonstrating that your literature review is well-rounded and integrated into your discussion. Make your discussion structured and balanced, and to do so, you can follow the following tips. Number 1. Summarize important findings. Begin the discussion section with a concise yet powerful summary of the most significant findings from your study. Here, you highlight the key results that directly address your research objectives. Number 2. Delve into the interpretation of your results by providing possible explanations and mechanisms. Always support your interpretations with relevant references from the literature. Number 3. You need to compare and contrast with relevant studies. Identify similarities and differences and explain why these variations might exist. Discuss how your findings build upon or challenge existing knowledge. Number 4. You should also highlight your study's strengths and limitations. Showcase the strengths and unique aspects of your study that differentiate it from others. Discuss the methodological rigor, novel approaches, or comprehensive data that contribute to the validity and reliability of your findings. Simultaneously, acknowledge the limitations of your study, such as sample size constraints or potential biases. Explain how you addressed these limitations to minimize their impact on the study's validity. While usually this part is added near the end of the discussion, some papers include it at the beginning, as we will see later in the examples. And finally, number 5, recommend next steps. Conclude your discussion by providing recommendations for future. Discuss potential policy implications, interventions, or strategies that can improve the current situation. Additionally, propose areas for further research that can expand upon or address remaining gaps in the field. Now, let's review two examples for the discussion. Here in example 1, the authors chose to present the strengths and limitations section immediately after summarizing the major study findings. While here in example 2, the authors kept the strengths and limitations at the end of the discussion. Both approaches are fine and can be used to effectively discuss the strong and weak points in the study. Now, let's move to some do's and don'ts that you should consider when writing the discussion section of your research paper. Let's start with the do's. Number 1. Be balanced and self-critical. Maintain a balanced perspective when discussing your results. Avoid exaggerating the findings beyond what's supported by the data. Be self-critical and acknowledge any limitations or weaknesses in your study. This demonstrates integrity and credibility. Number 2. Always interpret your results with caution. Remember this important rule. Correlation does not imply causation. Just because two variables are related does not mean that one causes the other. Consider alternative explanations and confounding factors that may influence the observed relationships. Also, distinguish between statistical and clinical significance. Statistical significance indicates the likelihood that an observed effect is not due to chance, while clinical significance refers to the practical relevance or impact of the findings in a real-world context. Clearly differentiate between these two concepts when discussing your results to avoid making exaggerated claims based solely on statistical significance. Remember also that non-significant relations do not always imply the absence of an effect or relationship. It could be due to various factors, such as sample size, measurement error, or study design. Number 3. Always use an evidence-based approach. Support your interpretations with an evidence-based approach. Refer to the study designs of the papers you cite to strengthen the validity of your interpretations. Clearly indicate the quality of evidence by considering factors such as study design, sample size, and potential biases. And now with the don'ts. First, don't repeat data in detail. Avoid repeating the detailed findings already presented in the results section. Second, avoid spin as much as you can. And spin means the selective reporting of results in a way that distorts the findings and misleads readers. Ensure that your conclusions are supported by the data and do not overstate the significance of your results. And third, don't reference uncompleted work. When interpreting your results, rely only on completed work, rather than referring to ongoing or unfinished studies. Sometimes, the study gives negative results, and here we have two options. Either the negative results proves absence of a relationship. Here the study finds enough evidence that the variables aren't related, and we call that evidence of absence. On the other hand, the study results can be inconclusive. Here, negative results can suggest that the study did not have enough statistical power or adequate sample size to detect a relationship between the variables, and we call that absence of evidence. While it can be disappointing to get negative results, they still hold a significant value. First, negative results can inform researchers that a certain intervention or treatment is ineffective. This is important information, as it allows researchers to redirect their efforts and resources towards exploring alternative interventions that may yield more favorable outcomes. Second, and as previously mentioned, negative results can indicate the absence of an association between the studied variables or the absence of differences between the study groups. And finally, many journals require authors to provide what's called a summary box, which aims to provide the readers with a balanced view of the study findings within the context of the available literature. The summary box typically includes the following. First, what is already known on this matter. This section summarizes the existing knowledge related to the study topic. Second, what this study adds. In this section, the authors explain the unique contribution of their study. And some journals ask for a third section, like the one on the right. And this section highlights the implications of all the available evidence, the evidence provided by the available literature, together with that provided with the present study. And now, let's test your knowledge so far. Please read the following questions pause the video and take a moment to answer them on your own. Then proceed to check your answers. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found the video enjoyable.